Sessions of a church conference in October 1840, saints rushed to the Mississippi River, where several elders stood waist-deep in the water, ready to baptize members for their deceased grandparents, fathers, mothers, siblings, and children. Wow! Now, this scene of people being baptized for the dead is certainly not the way it's done today. At first, it was kind of like a puzzle to solve, as they've been told what to do, but not exactly how to do it. As they figured it out, the Lord patiently accepted their attempts. How to solve the puzzle. Step 1. The prophet had to tell them the right words to use. Step 2. They needed to make sure women were being baptized for women and men for men. Step 3. Were witnesses necessary? Who can do it? How many were needed? Was this okay? Step 4. These baptisms also were to be observed, recorded, and written down like they're recorded in heaven. Step 5. Where was the proper place for this proxy work for the dead? After a short time, they were told baptisms for the dead couldn't be done in the river anymore, but had to be done in the temple. So, when the walls of the temple were only a few feet high, craftsmen built a temporary space in the temple's basement for baptisms for the dead, with an oval font sitting on the backs of 12 hand-carved oxen. Whew. Okay, the puzzle of how to do this work was solved, but there'd still be future ordnance puzzles to figure out. While going about their work, Margaret Cook and Sarah Kimball couldn't help but notice the men working on the temple needed better work shoes and clothing. Acting on inspiration, they asked if other women wanted to help with the sewing by forming a benevolent society. Eliza R. Snow wrote a document to make their organization official, and then showed the completed document to the prophet, who declared it was a great constitution, but the Lord had something better. On March 17, 1842, 20 women anxiously gathered to hear what the Lord's plan was for them. Their new society was to encourage women to seek out and care for the needy, offer righteous correction, and strengthen the community. Joseph invited the women to choose their own president. Ann Whitney confidently nominated Emma Smith, and the women unanimously agreed. Emma said,
"We are going to do something extraordinary. We expect extraordinary occasions and pressing calls, and above all else, charity should motivate our Relief Society."
This group, a Society for Relief, grew rapidly, and today is one of the world's largest international women's organizations, with millions of members in over 100 countries. Now, another group with lots of work to do was the 12 Apostles. In 1841, most of the apostles returned from preaching the gospel in England. It had been an incredible mission. 8 apostles had served together: Brigham Young, Heber C. Kimball, Parley and Orson Pratt, John Taylor, Wilford Woodruff, George A. Smith, and Willard Richards. And now, the more than 6,000 members in England and Scotland were beginning to emigrate and join the saints in Nauvoo. Brigham had spent nearly every summer since he joined the church away on missions. But on July 9, 1841, the prophet received a revelation advising Brigham that he was no longer required to travel, and instead to remain home, spend time with his family, and fulfill his church calling nearby. And truthfully, Joseph really needed help to run the church. Attempted assassination of former Governor Lilburn Boggs. The nefarious Governor Lilburn Boggs, who had many enemies, was shot at home while sitting in his chair and was now very close to death. Enemies of the church claimed Joseph Smith had Porter Rockwell do it, and a warrant was issued for Joseph's arrest. The only problem was that Joseph and Porter were totally innocent. Joseph hadn't entered Missouri since the day he escaped, but bloodthirsty mobs wanted to bring him back and kill him. So, Joseph had to go into hiding to save his life. He stayed hidden for 5 months until an Illinois judge granted him a fair hearing and set him free. Unfortunately, that didn't stop angry politicians in Missouri from twice more trying to bring him to trial. Now, while hidden, Joseph found unique ways to share God's words. Sections 127 and 128 were 2 letters he covertly sent to the church about subjects that were on his mind and things he'd learned from the Lord. He said, "Deep water is what I am wont to swim in. But lo, I shall triumph over all my enemies, for the Lord God hath spoken it." Then he rallied everyone's spirits by encouraging, "Brethren, shall we not go on in so great a cause? Go forward and not backward. Courage, brethren, and on to the victory. Let your hearts rejoice and be exceedingly glad." Next time, we'll learn about a very enlightening meal with Orson Hyde and the Prophet.